She laughs with the group, not with you. She answers everyone at the table, not your text. You replay the night and feel a hollow knot. You want to fix it. You do not know how. This is not what you think it is. Like and subscribe. You think compliments will buy attention. You think praise equals attraction. Those are weak guesses. They widen the distance. You have been complimenting the obvious. You have been chasing approval with your words. That shows need, not value. Here is the hard truth. Attraction answers to precise acknowledgement, not flattery. Say the right thing at the right time, and she tilts toward you. Say the wrong thing, and you become background noise. No tricks, no lines you can blame later. You will get 5 phrases. You will learn when to stop. You will learn what each phrase does to her mind. Which 5 lines will make her look back, and will you use them when it matters? Point number 1, silent rejection. Why do you keep saying things and she keeps stepping back? Why do you try harder and the room gets colder? Picture the gym mirror at 6 a.m. You watch the repetition of your face. You rehearse a line in your head. You send a text at 2 a.m. and wait for typing that never comes. You lie in an empty bed and count which nights you filled with talk. Marcus said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He knew men who lost cities and still kept calm. He did not need applause. He needed clarity. In Rome, the man who held his tongue kept command. He did not beg attention. He let the moment call him. Now you live one text, one missed glance, and you act like a general losing troops. Imagine a river worn smooth by stones. Each word you cast chips the bank. Soon the channel moves away from you. You throw compliments like pebbles. They splash and sink. No pull, no change. Think about the father at the courthouse. Not arguing about custody, just present paperwork on the table. He sits steady. He does not sell his worth with noise. He becomes the point others orbit around. Picture the late-night bar, a group leaning in. She laughs, you speak, and the laugh fades. You notice nothing. You have a history of filling silence. You confuse talk with movement. That confusion costs presence. This is not praise for being cold. It is a lesson about weight. Heft your speech. Make it count. Do not scatter meaning to please. Train your silence. Can you hold a pause without reaching for rescue? Hold that question. If you can, you will start to feel the small shifts in how people return your gaze and how the room tilts back toward your presence. Next, we reveal the first forbidden compliment, the single phrase that draws her in, and the timing errors that turn strength into pleading. So you speak with purpose when it matters most. Point number 2, the need leak. Why do you keep pouring more until there is nothing left to give? Why does her silence make you over-deliver? Picture the phone at 2 a.m. You reread your message. You rewrite it twice. You hit send. You wait for a blue bubble that never appears. You wake the next day and perform better again to erase the sting. Epictetus wrote, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." He meant the field defines the man, not the applause from the crowd. In the old camps, a soldier who begged mercy lost the line. He who held posture kept command. Think of a water bucket with a hairline crack. You keep topping it. The crack grows unseen. One night the bucket is empty and you do not know why. You tell yourself you gave enough, but the hole was the problem. Picture the gym mirror at dawn. You watch yourself lift and breathe. You practice confident movement in the glass. You do not practice restraint, so you practice words instead. Words that collapse under scrutiny. Remember the bar on a Saturday. You lean in with compliments. She smiles, then looks away. You keep talking. Others watch. Your words become filler, not weight. You have been trading respect for warmth. Picture a man signing custody papers. He places his pen down without theatrics. No loud defenses. No bargaining. Presence is heavier than speech in that room. People sense it and adjust. This is not a call to become blunt. It is a call to close the leak. Measure your output. Make each line hold weight. Start noticing when you fill the quiet. Seal your leak. Can you stop giving to prove you exist? Answer that with brutal honesty. If you cannot, your whispers will keep eroding what you want. Next, we expose the exact phrasing that men hand over like currency. why it fails, and the timing rule that flips a phrase from weak to quietly irresistible. Point number 3, forbidden phrase patterns. Which lines do you keep repeating until they become invisible? Which rehearsed praise sounds like an echo in the room? Picture the downtown bar at midnight. You lean in, smiling, and hand over a compliment rehearsed in the car. She nods, her eyes move on. You feel the sting and say more. You try a softer version at 2 a.m., a text that explains why you noticed her. No response. You wake the next morning proofreading the same sentence. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. That is the pivot. It is not doctrine, it is action. In the piazza, a senator used a single phrase to shift a crowd. He chose words that moved weight. He held back the rest. The crowd bent toward meaning. Now you stand before a screen and spill small praise until it pools into noise. Imagine coins scattered on a table. Each phrase is loose change. It buys momentary smiles. It never buys gravity. You confuse volume with purchase. You think repetition secures attention. It empties your reserve instead. Think of the father who tells a child simply, "I saw you." He does not overflow. The child straightens. You have been buying attention with compliments that say nothing hard. You pay for warmth that evaporates. Picture a handshake replaced by a bouquet of words. Under the flowers, the hand will never feel your grip. That is the pattern you must break. Practice the pause in conversations. Let a single true observation land. Make your words count. Ask this with a clean voice, not a plea. Stop the rehearsed praise. Can you hold a single phrase and mean it? Hold that question in real time. If you can, your language will gain weight. You will learn the shape of what pulls attention. Next, we name the first forbidden phrase, why it functions like a magnet, and the exact moment to place it so it pulls and does not push. Point number 4, truth that anchors. Why do you trade truth for small comforts? Why do you soften what matters to avoid a single hard moment? Picture the custody file on the lawyer's desk. You fold the envelope with careful hands. You do not argue. You do not perform. You sit steady while others clamor. You feel the room measure you. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He meant men fear shadows and miss the door. In Rome, a commander held the line because he could see the ground, not the rumors. He watched the map. He moved when it mattered. Now picture your life. The email that wins a raise sits unsent because you polish a compliment instead. The date you wanted tilts away while you explain yourself. You trade weight for warmth. You dilute the one thing that makes people orient toward you. Think of a stone thrown in a lake. The impact matters more than the splash. You have been polishing the splash. You have not measured the strike. In the gym, you lift with intent. You do not shout after each rep. You let the results speak. Outside that room, you clatter with words to fill the silence. You broadcast small truths that do not move anyone. Imagine a quiet father at the table. He does not explain his presence. He becomes the steady point. People organize around him without being told. This is not permission to become distant. It is a rule about density. Speak fewer lines that carry more consequence. Anchor your words. Can you stop watering empty soil to prove you grow? Hold that answer and test it in the next hour. If you pass, your chances to pull attention change. Next, we will expose the timing that makes a single compliment land like a signal, the body language that doubles its effect, and the one mistake that ruins the moment every time. Prepare to learn the 5 phrases and when to hold them back. This will change how rooms return your presence. Point number 5, deliver with gravity. Why do you speak like you are asking permission? Why do you soften a line that could stop the room? Picture the gym mirror at dawn. You watch your posture and rehearse a softer tone. You tell a joke and then follow it with explanation. You explain so it lands and it evaporates. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He saw men hold a field with a single steady act. A general in formation did not shout to be heard. He held his weight and the line bent to him. In Rome, a captain moved a column with one command. The command landed because it mattered. Now you scatter emphasis like confetti. You flood your sentences so nothing strikes. Think of a hammer and a nail. A heavy strike drives the nail. A dozen light taps scatter force and ruin the wood. You have been tapping. You think more words equals stronger proof. They thin the moment instead. Imagine custody papers on a table. A man speaks once, clear, and the room tightens. He does not need to soften. He does not need to explain. His single line shifts the negotiation. Picture a late text at 2 a.m. You craft a long message to prove feeling. It reads needy. No one reads the weight through clutter. You traded force for noise. You lie awake in an empty bed and replay a night of small talk. You count the times you explained instead of simply holding space. Each explanation erases the pull you could have owned with a single cut to the room. Presence shrinks with every rescue. This is not a call to harshness. It is a rule about placement. Place a sentence and let it settle. Do not chase its echo. Deliver with gravity. Can you make every word land without rescue? Hold that test. If you pass, your next lines will command, not plead. Next we teach cadence, the eye contact, and the single pause that turns a compliment into a signal. You came here for a change, not a pep talk. You learned 5 precise phrases. You learned when to shut your mouth. You learned how to stop leaking need. You learned to make one line land like a signal. The point was never tricks. It was about weight, timing, and presence. Small words can do big work when you place them with intent. You leave the room different when you mean less and measure more. Thank you for sitting with this. I appreciate the time you gave. If one idea landed for you, like the video. If you want more, subscribe and stay. Share one moment below. Tell us which line you will hold back. Ask a question if you want a deeper breakdown. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.